I've given myself a whole bunch of room so that I can write out all the steps that I'm going to need to simplify this expression up here. So as we talked about before in other problems where we're multiplying polynomials, to deal with these two, I'm going to start with the first term of the first polynomial and make sure that I multiply it by every single term in the second polynomial. So I'm going to write out all of those terms to start out. So I have 3 terms here, reflecting the fact that I multiplied this term by each of the 3 terms in this expression. Now that the negative 4x squared is taken care of, I'll move on to the x, since that's the next term in this first polynomial. Once again, I should add on 3 more terms to what I'm building up here, 1 for each of these terms, since I'm multiplying this by all of them. So now I have 6 terms total, which I can double check by counting them all out. And this is actually a really good way to check that you're on the right track in terms of the spot and the problem you're at. If I've already multiplied out the terms that I need for the first 2 terms of the 4 that I'm going to need to multiply, and there are 3 terms that I'm multiplying each of them by, then it makes sense that I would have 2 times 3, or 6 terms total. Now let's continue by multiplying all of these by 2y. And finally, we get to the last term in our first polynomial, the negative 6. And now we have a super long expression. This looks pretty miserable right now, but hopefully, as we continue to simplify within the terms and then combine like terms, things will get to look a little bit nicer. Really though, in terms of new material that this problem covered, our job is done. All that's left is for us to simplify. Although of course, this is a particularly complicated simplification process because there are so many terms. We just have to be super careful. We end up with this lovely, very long final answer of negative 12x squared y squared plus 20x cubed plus 3xy squared plus 6y cubed minus 17x squared minus 10xy minus 18y squared plus 33x plus 6y minus 18. Wow, that was really difficult, and if you got this perfectly right, I am so proud of you. I actually made a couple mistakes myself when I was redoing the problem on the tablet here. You can see actually when I was doing my work that I had to put little check marks above all of the terms in this step before I got to the final answer. The reason that I did that was I wanted to make sure that as I rewrote each term down here and combined it with its like terms, that I prevented myself from dealing with it again. So I put a little check mark above a term when I wrote it down here. That also let me check that I actually had dealt with every single term that I needed to deal with. I think at this point, if you got this problem right, you have mastered multiplication of polynomials. Congratulations, that's pretty huge.